On opposite sides of the country with opposing messages on the government's answer to easing hip pocket pressures.
Tasmania will be the biggest beneficiary of Labor's cost of living tax cut for Middle Australia.
People, 500,000 of whom here in WA alone, are going to face higher taxes.
What a good wingman.
The Treasurer insists Labor's recast income tax cuts will benefit more than 80% of working Australians, arguing it's the right and fair thing to do. But the opposition suggests it's the thin end of the wedge and that other contentious tax measures, such as scrapping negative gearing concessions on property, could soon find their way back onto Labor's policy agenda.
I think our political opponents want to focus on what we are not changing because they can't defend or sustain their position on the tax changes that we have announced.
The Treasurer and the Prime Minister will promise that 100 more times before they are then open to breaking that promise. That's now their track record.
Despite speculating what the government will do, Peter Dutton remains coy on what the opposition will do when the tax cuts are presented to Parliament.
We'll have an announcement in due course.
Well, they're all over the shop, aren't they?
Without coalition support, Labor will be forced to look to the crossbench to get the reshaped tax cuts through the Senate, although that could come at a cost.
We have to change negative gearing in this country. The Greens will use every opportunity to push for changes to our unfair tax laws.
The policy's first electoral test comes in 32 days, with a by-election in the southeast Melbourne seat of Dunkley.
I'm affected by the top bracket, and I still think they're fairer.
I wouldn't trust Albanese as far as I could throw him, to be quite honest.
I vote on different issues rather than hip pocket.
A typical Labor move, promise something and not deliver it.
The choice for voters in Dunkley is whether they'll forgive the government for its tax shift, considering many will have extra dollars in their back pocket. And while the coalition zeroes in on issues of trust and credibility, the day will soon come in Parliament when it has to decide whether it's prepared to vote against a tax change delivering benefit to most Australians. Matthew Doran, ABC News, Canberra.